Hello everyone. Today, I really saw like the most bizarre story ever online, where it was like some story about like some 8-year-old girl that stole her parents' car like on a Sunday morning, very early. When I mean morning, like exactly 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and she somehow stole her car, stole some money, got into the fucking car and drove away to a store, not to leave them forever, but just go to a Target to just buy some shit. And when I first, saw the headline on Twitter, I was like, there's no way that's real. Like imagine like a small 8-year-old girl with pigtails. How would she be tall enough to reach the steering wheel, reach the gas and brake, maybe even the clutch, and have like the foresight and knowledge of, what gear to put in and like what direction to go to? I mean, I know most kids, when they go shopping with their parents, they go so often every single day, they know the exact route, like what direction to take. But you have to imagine as well, it's a kid. Like if my parents forced me to drive to a hospital that I've been to every single day, like my dad was in the back seat, bleeding out, there's no way I could have the pressure of driving to some place and also being terrified of crashing the car, because it definitely would be. But before I get into the story, I will say the girl, she is safe, despite me saying like a very urgent story. She didn't get hurt. I think from what I read, like she hit a mailbox, which is pretty funny. But aside from that, nobody else was severely hurt. Because again, like I said, it was in the morning, 7 fucking a.m. in the morning, so there was nobody else in the road. Apart from another driver that saw how crazy she was driving and called the police on her because it didn't seem right. Whereafter, from what I saw, he got like next to the car, looked over and saw it was just like a tiny girl, barely like seeing over the front windshield. And it really is like the most insane story ever. But first, I want to read the article from what I read this, because every single part of this, come together, seems so dumb, so funny. It really is so good. I have to read it out loud. It's gonna be like a quick story time for you guys. Footage emerges of 8-year-old girls daring Joyride to Target after she stole her parents' SUV by Daily Mail. I don't know. Oh, by the way, this story happened, like a day ago in Ohio. I don't know what Daily Mail, UK, journalist, media stuff, whatever, is making about an American story. I mean, if it's a crazy story, I think anyone worldwide can, go, enjoy it. The little girl took her family's white 2020 Nissan Rogue from the house in Bedford, Ohio, on Sunday morning. As well as the vehicle, the child also left home with $400 to spend at the store. Okay, so 2 parts here. A 2020 Nissan Rogue. That makes me imagine like the car is automatic. So right off the bat, much easier, as you imagine, for a kid to drive it. There's no gears. There's only your 2 pedals. Brake and brake and gas. Fuck me, brake and gas. So it's quite simple. Even a kid, can understand the basic concept of a car. You go, you stop. That's simple. And the next crazy part. $400. Oh my god! From that detail alone, you can tell she wants you to go to Target and spend with that much money. This was something else that showed up in the article later on, where like they were asking the girl, what the fuck would you go to a store to buy with that much money that early in the morning? And it didn't say, because they couldn't get like an interview with the girl. She is 8 years old, and I'm trying to say, what the fuck could she actually want that early in the morning with $400? I was thinking, some sweets, some food, whatever. But she's in her own house. You could like just go to the fridge. It has to be sweet. I can't think of like anything else. Her family reported a missing to the Bedford Police Department around 7 a.m. To their amazement, a neighbor's ring camera revealed the little girl climbed into the driver's seat and drove off in the SUV. It's an SUV as well, like a big car. If it was like a tiny like Mr. Bean hatchback car, like very small, that'd make more sense. But just the bravery, the goal in the girl to climb into like a huge truck. I mean, from her perspective, you have to imagine an SUV is like the size of like one of those like coal miner trucks that's like 20 feet tall. Like it's that massive. So the fact that you could even climb up there, like have the courage to drive it, respect to her. Okay, here's the part about the driver, like seeing her. Another driver spotted the family's car on the road that morning as the girl swerved in and out of lanes. The other motorist soon called 911 to report the reckless kid driver. The clip showed the young girl driving the car just as the sun was rising on Rockside Road. The other driver recorded the vehicle through his windshield as the child swerved into the lane at a green light. In the background, the male driver was reporting the erratic driver to police as he drove behind her. As the video ended, the girl was seen steering the car to the left in the opposite lane. Oh my god, that's terrifying. I mean, I know she clearly didn't want you, because if you watch the video, I'll show the video in a second, but if you watch the video, you can tell, she's nervous, of like which lane to stay at. But imagine if it was like a busy day, like full of cars, and a road this big, it looks pretty big. Imagine like some crazy driver, like a speed car, going like 100 down this road, and this little girl, she tiny, clips to the left and just smashes into it. That's terrifying. Jesus Christ. That's why there's a dichotomy between this story or stories like this where, you can laugh at it, it's very funny, but the small chance that, it ended in a death of her or someone else, it makes it like, that tiny detail could have made this whole scenario much, much darker. In their scramble to find the H-Road, a small victory came when a license plate reader picked up the SUV on Betty Bone Road. Finally, Bainbridge police located the vehicle in the parking lot of the Target, and the little girl was located inside the store. Shockingly, nobody was hurt despite the 8-year-old admitting to police that she plowed through a mailbox on a drive. That's so funny as well. I mean, I'm not surprised. With a story like that, it's a miracle that she survived anyways. But of course, one thing is bound to go wrong. And if it happened to be a mailbox that was smashed, not that big of an issue. I find that more funny than anything else. Also, who do you sue in that scenario? Imagine being someone in that early in the morning, a beautiful Sunday morning with the sun rising, you wake up and you see your mailbox plowed through. Luckily, if you have a camera, you can see who drove there, you see the number plate, but then you find out the person driving that car was a tiny 8-year-old girl. So do you sue the girl or do you sue the parents? Because I know it's very easy to yell at the parents for blaming them for letting the girl drive away, but at the same time, I don't think any parent would be this dumb, would be so dumb to have the keys somewhere that's so easy to access. I mean, most people, when they get home, they leave the keys, on a side table when they enter, and that way, a kid could pick up the key car and then, just take it from them that easily. As long as they wake up before the parents, could notice. So it really is that simple. Not that complex at all. That's why I feel somewhat, it's not fully the fault of the parents, because any parent could have an 8-year-old that's so batshit crazy. This exact scenario could happen to them, and the parents couldn't do anything because they're fucking asleep. But in a humorous post on their Facebook page, the department wrote, "That's right, an 8-year-old girl took mommy's car this morning and drove to Target in Bainbridge to shop. Not sure what she bought or for, or if she was even able to use a Target app to save 5%. We did a little finish of Frappuccino. We're not that mean." Okay, an 8-year-old could have ran over an old lady, okay? Not that funny. I can laugh at it, but you can't, okay? Don't laugh. The Bedford Police Department declined to tell DailyMail.com if any charges were being brought against the 8-year-old girl because it's an ongoing investigation. It's also unclear what the girl went to the store to buy. Okay, yeah, that's another thing as well. You can't really jail a girl like this, put her on handcuffs, and what can you really put on her? What charges? I mean, she can go to juvenile, jail, whatever, but at the same time, an 8-year-old, that has to be the youngest age possible, just possible. Or even some piece of shit judge could be okay, I'll put you on bail, but I can't do anything more. Because at the same time, you are insanely young at 8 years old. What more could I possibly put on you? What other charges could I put? It doesn't say anything here more about the parents, but imagine in a lawsuit between the state or the neighbors that had the mailbox smashed over or plowed into on the way there. That might be the only lawsuit I think the parents could get into, as well as the police, as well as child services being okay, how unsafe is a household that kid could just steal your fucking 2020 Nissan Rogue? It's that simple. I think that's the only two factors for the parents. But at the same time, like I said, I feel most people leave their car keys in a very, easy to access place for a kid to just grab it. So that's not really a sign of a lazy and unsafe household. That happens in any house, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, overall, I think in the future, I have no idea what consequences this could have on the girl. Because I mean, imagine being 16 and having to take an extra driving test, because when you were 8, more than a decade ago, you fucked up, you did a crime, but you were so young to remember, but now you have to be more safe driving, just in case, you're more insane. Even though I feel she drove, oh by the way, I forgot to mention as well, she drove for 25 minutes on a 10-mile long route, that far away. So if you can drive that far, being somewhat safe, I feel like that's more of a test of her driving ability, which, with a lack of, accidents, maybe just a tiny one, I think that was a good sign of her being a talented driver, potentially. I don't know. But if she did kill someone, then yeah, I don't think she'd be allowed to drive ever again, I feel like.